Scene script. Have you ever wondered how some people seem to have a knack for growing their wealth while others struggle? It's not always about earning a huge salary or inheriting a fortune. More often than not, successful wealth accumulation boils down to something much more mundane: financial habits. Yes, you heard that right. Habits. The little things we do day in, day out, often without even thinking. And when it comes to financial habits, there's one that really stands out from the crowd. It's known as the 10% rule. The 10% rule is a simple yet powerful principle that can substantially impact your financial trajectory. It's not a get-rich-quick scheme or a magic trick. Rather, it's a practice that requires discipline, consistency, and a touch of patience. So what exactly is this 10% rule, and how can it help you grow your wealth? Stay tuned as we unravel the mysteries of the 10% rule in the next scene. The 10% rule is a straightforward yet powerful financial principle. Let's delve into what makes this rule so compelling. The 10% rule is all about setting aside a mere tenth of every paycheck for savings or investment. Now, this might sound like a small fraction, but don't let that fool you. The magic lies not in the percentage, but in the habit this rule cultivates. Imagine this. You receive a paycheck. Before you spend a single cent on anything else, you take 10% of that sum and place it into a separate savings or investment account. This act is the core of the 10% rule. It's not about the actual amount, but about the discipline, the act of consistently setting aside a portion of your income, regardless of the amount. This rule encourages a mindset of wealth accumulation rather than wealth expenditure. It's a shift from thinking about what you can buy now to what you can have in the future. It's about trading instant gratification for long-term financial stability. The key word here is consistency. Consistently setting aside 10% of your income can lead to a substantial nest egg over time. It's akin to the story of the tortoise and the hare. Slow and steady wins the race. It's not about how much you save in one go. It's about the consistency of your savings over time. Remember, the 10% rule is not a get-rich-quick scheme. It's a financial habit that promotes discipline and long-term wealth accumulation. It's about making a small, manageable sacrifice today for a more financially secure tomorrow. So, to reiterate, the 10% rule is simple. Every time you receive a paycheck, before you spend on anything else, you set aside 10% for savings or investment. This act, done consistently, is the secret to growing wealth over time. Now that you know what the 10% rule is, the question remains, how can you implement it? Implementing the 10% rule might seem daunting, but it's actually quite simple. It's all about breaking the process down into manageable steps and then approaching it with consistency and purpose. The first step is to understand what exactly the 10% rule means. It's about setting aside 10% of your income every month without fail. This doesn't mean 10% of what's left over after expenses, but rather 10% right off the top, before anything else. Once you've calculated your 10%, the next step is to automate the process. By setting up automatic transfers from your checking account to your savings or investment account, you're ensuring that your 10% gets put away before you even have a chance to think about it. This takes the guesswork and the temptation out of the equation, making it easier to stick to the plan. But what about when times get tough? Well, that's when the 10% rule really shines. By treating your 10% savings as a non-negotiable expense, just like rent or utilities, you're prioritizing your future financial health. Even when the budget gets tight, this 10% is not something you can afford to skip. It's a commitment to yourself and your financial well-being. The beauty of the 10% rule is that it's scalable. Whether you're earning $2,000 or $2 million, the rule stays the same. It's not about the amount, but the habit. And over time, this habit can lead to significant wealth accumulation. So what's the end result? Well, for one, you're building a financial safety net. But more than that, you're cultivating a mindset of abundance and financial discipline. You're learning to live slightly below your means and to prioritize long-term financial growth over short-term pleasure. As you can see, it's not about having a huge income, but about making smart decisions with what you have. By implementing the 10% rule, you're taking a small, manageable step towards greater financial security and wealth. And that, my friends, is easier than you think. The 10% rule is not just about growing your wealth, it's about cultivating a mindset, Let's delve into the tangible benefits first, shall we? When we regularly save 10% of our income, we are essentially setting aside a portion of our earnings that we can invest. This nest egg can grow exponentially over time, thanks to the magic of compound interest. This is essentially interest on interest, resulting in your money growing at an ever-accelerating rate. It's like a snowball rolling down a hill, gaining more momentum and size as it goes. Financial security is another benefit that cannot be overstated. Life is unpredictable and full of surprises, some of which can be financially draining. Having a cushion to fall back on can provide immense relief during such times. It's like having a safety net under a tightrope walker, providing reassurance and stability, even when the winds of life are blowing strong. But the benefits of the 10% rule go beyond just the financial. It also transforms your mind and your relationship with money. Saving a portion of your income consistently instills financial discipline. It's a habit that forces you to live within your means, to prioritize needs over wants, and to think long-term rather than indulging in instant gratification. This discipline can spill over into other areas of your life as well. You may find yourself becoming more organized, more patient, and more grounded. You learn the value of persistence and the joy of watching something grow bit by bit, much like a gardener tending to a sapling. And let's not forget about peace of mind. Knowing that you are financially secure can reduce stress and anxiety. It provides a sense of control over your life, a feeling of being prepared for whatever life throws at you. It's akin to having a sturdy ship in the stormy seas of life. The 10% rule is more than a financial principle, it's a lifestyle change. It's about nurturing a mindset of abundance, discipline, and foresight. It's about understanding that wealth is not just about money, but about the freedom and security it brings. So, are you ready to embrace the 10% rule and reap its manifold benefits? So, to sum up, the 10% rule is a simple yet powerful tool for wealth growth. It's all about setting aside 10% of your income, no matter how much or little you earn. This habit is the essence of the 10% rule. It's not about the amount you save, but the consistency of your saving habit. In practice, it's as easy as putting away a dime for every dollar you earn. The benefits of this rule extend far beyond just money. It cultivates financial discipline and fosters a mindset of growth and abundance. It's important to remember that the magic of the 10% rule doesn't lie in a single act, but in the repetition of this act over time. The cumulative effect of this simple habit can lead to significant wealth growth. Remember, growing wealth isn't a sprint, it's a marathon. And with the 10% rule, you're well equipped for the journey.